Yo, what's up, guys? I hear the dingle, dingle, dingle in the background, so I guess that means we're live. This is Damnation-n-Hellfire, and of course, I'm joined by Doomsday Rebel,
How's it going, everybody?
and we got Ross Crow.
Good evening, everyone.
We are now on episode number 67, which I entitled "She'll Be Coming Round the Mountain," just because mountain tiles are coming, and I couldn't think anything else snappier. Sorry. Let's do a little talk about the raid and the end. Do a little raid wrap up and how everybody did in their raid. Ross, you want to go first?
Yeah, I did pretty good in the raid. I just came in at like 300 million. I just claimed the new prizes and the CTCO armor. Those are primarily what I was after in the beginning. I did blitz. I blitzed most of my event right off the bat just to get the ship, the weapon, the special, just in order so I could get it started building. I had the way I was taking so much damage, in all honesty, that it was not a better option to just drive. For me, my coin costs were equal to the blitz repair feature, so that's why I chose that. I don't usually blitz events unless something like this were to happen, and that did happen for me. So I blitzed my way to about 200 million so I could start everything and get the shipyards and get that going. But then I just hit 89s.
Isn't it might just be me, but wasn't this raid kind of ass backwards from normal? Because normally they start out like at a reasonable amount of damage and then they crank them up. And this raid, it like started out ungodly and they had to dial it back like 3 separate occasions.
Yeah,
it definitely seemed ass backwards. And of course, lots of people didn't have the patience to see what was going to happen. So lots of people went ahead and, like yourself, blitzed it all on the first day or whatever. So like I think Kixeye probably made a pretty good revenue off of this raid because of that, I would guess. And my concern now is that we might see it happen this way more and more in the future.
Yeah. Order out of chaos. So that's how it's...
Well, and I agree, and that's why I didn't. I mean, I only blitzed the actual needed target or the needed components or the amount that I needed to start off, because I looked at the build times on this, and I was just, honestly, I was to the day on being able to get like 3 hulls in my opinion by the next event. So I was just trying to, that's what I was actually, the whole big picture is what I was really looking at when I did that blitz to get that started on day 1. I needed that extra time.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to throw you under the bus at all when I said like yourself, because there was people out there who did way fucking worse than what you did. Like, no, way worse.
and I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's thrown me in it. No, I agree. And I was just trying to, I'm not concerned. And it just worked that way for me. I know that people did have billions of points, and I think to myself, well, that doesn't really help the community, but I play my own game, and I just don't like people telling me how to play. So I don't tell people how to play. I just hope the community can act together at times and when it's needed.
Yeah. Travis, how'd things go for you?
It wasn't too bad. It was a little annoying at first, but and I started I still had a lot of battery tokens from the TLC, so I actually took the free Kixeye fleet, and I had enough tokens to do 4 ships. I turned on all offensive weapons, and dude, that fleet was so much better than mine. I was kind of embarrassed by it, but so to me, the cormorants weren't really working all that great, because if I could take a fleet with basically 1 Gale 4 and 1 anti-torp in there and come out with almost an hour less damage, something's fucking wrong. And so I just took my fleet I was doing what everybody else done, was autoing 89s until there was a point where it was just a race to go for them. So I took the free fleet, I split them up into 5 ships, and then I put my Brennus in a 6 fleet, and I was hitting 65s and getting over 1 million as fast as people were getting the 800,000. So the 69 blitz I could do with 1 ship, and with 6 fleets, I was cranking in points like crazy every 3 minutes. So, that was my easy way.
I know I myself, I rated on 2 accounts. I rated on my main account, and I got what I needed to get the new stuff, and I think I got one like Hyper 30 extra on top of that. And I was like, screw it, because they had done pissed me off from the first day so bad that I'm like, I don't even want to play on this account anymore. So what I did is I went over on my alt account, who was like a little level 47, who of course got the free fleet of bat rays that everybody got. And I ended up getting out like 85 million points on that guy. Now, granted, RB helped me get a whole lot of points, and I definitely appreciated that. But like, I was able to get that guy like dragons, everything he needed to build a fleet of dragons. I was able to get him Buccaneers, pretty much almost everything he needed to build the fleet of Buccaneers. I got him all the Buccaneer tokens. So like, he actually, for being a little guy that literally. But when at the start of this raid, that account had 2 Punishers with launchers on it and 3 Mastodons, and that was it. And he had gotten another time. He had gotten a fleet of Mana Cores gifted to him. But like, yeah, so he went from that to like he can actually put some stuff together now at this point and be able to do some stuff. So I actually had a lot more fun on my little guy than I had on my big guy.
I believe that's right. When you ask the community and you get how their opinions of the event or how they were doing while the event was going, you had a total mix of reactions, and I found that it totally depended on the, basically the size of the player and what they're used to, their performance in past raids. People that couldn't do well in past raids or were always short, didn't have the fleet, or we're missing a ship or 2 ships out of the fleet at each time, now had a complete fleet. It made a huge difference to those players. They actually were able to grind. They were able to make great advancements in their base. I mean, really, just like you were mentioning on the 46, but I would say that all the way up to, to those players, regardless of the level. But, the ones that are just a little behind at all times, and I hate to say it like that even, but you know what I mean. And this was really a high performance event for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I know even Kix had said, they saw that raid participation was way up. I'm like, well, do you not see the correlation between you gave everybody a fleet and suddenly everybody was playing the game? Do you not see the correlation there? Like, do you not? So does that not then at some point translate into your tiny little brains that like, hey, if we make build time shorter, everybody can have a full fleet out in time for raids, participation will go up. And I guess that's somewhere. I guess that just doesn't like cross the wires. I guess somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably get yelled at them for saying they have tiny little brains, but
their fleets from before with three ships didn't just get slaughtered and they have 6 to 8 hours damage or whatever. Now they had a full fleet. They were able to hit some targets and stay in the game for the day. In all honesty, and keep running. If they hit down in targets, you were really able to crank out some points.
Oh, the funny thing, like my guy, of course, my alt being like only 47 when I started, had such a low dock at that point, it wasn't even funny. So I couldn't even fit all 5 of my bat rays in the fleet. When I started out the raid, I could only fit 3. And I'm out, and I was doing 89s with only 3 bat rays, and I could probably crank out like 6 or 7 of them before I'd have to, be almost dead and then go repair. So even at that rate, I was able to get a fair amount of points with the stuff that we were gifted. I mean, hopefully they will see the correlation line of, hey, when people have fleets that are able to do things, we get a lot higher participation, which tends to end up leading to a lot more coining too. So apparently, hopefully that will get through somewhere and they'll be like, hey, maybe if we cut down on these build times, more people will have more boats done and more people will participate. So we can hope. We can cross our fingers and hopes. Although later, as we'll see when we look at these Eradicator build times, I'm probably just being way over hopeful on that.
I would say there's an exact correlation between that fleet and the amount of participation and the amount of coining in this event, because in all honesty, this was not a fun event for a large player. There's nothing fun about it. The target was actually a good target. The size and all that I liked, but the amount of damage made it not okay. And just that simple fact can just make or break a target, and it broke that one in my opinion. But it didn't break those lower targets. Well, those lower targets are not really an option for me. I need way too many points, and I don't have the hours, or I'm just not willing to put the hours in at this stage of the game. But for those people that were gifted that fleet, I know many that were non-coiners that coined in this event because they had a fleet that to participate finally where they never could before. They really felt. They were actually really proud of themselves. Many people, and I was proud of them too, because they finally got to see even what it's like to have that fleet, to be able to grind and get through, if even with low coins. You know what I'm saying? The participation was extremely high, and it was all totally due to that fleet.
Yep. And I like, honestly, even in columns, I saw very little of hey, can you come prep for me? Can you come prep for me? Now, like, I was probably one of the sole exceptions to that rule, because I was actually had a lot of stuff that I was trying to get that guy on his feet a little bit. So RB probably dreaded every time I sent him a message during the course of the week. He was like, oh no, I got to go take more damage and waste another grease money to get this motherfucker points. But yeah, but I mean, yeah, I for everybody who's a low level that says kicks never did anything for you, boy, this raid was all about you guys. Let me tell you, it really was.
I agree, and a good one at that, in my opinion, for those players. I mean, you can't beat a free fleet.
Yeah, no doubt.
Plus, that free fleet gets them another free hull and a flagship on the Hydra Hollow. So, that's a twofold fleet here in the end.
Yeah. Say if they were going to screw up on a fleet like that and have to give it away to everybody, that was a great one to actually do it. With.
Yeah.
All right, so let me do some screen sharing and let's get into the new stuff. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we could sit here and talk about this raid for like all day, but we're not going to do that. So this week brings about the introduction of the mountain tiles. I'm sure everybody's excited about that. Some people are, some people aren't. They're going to be a new type of land tile that will appear in enemy targets during the siege cycle, and they block incoming fire unless the weapon has a sufficient arc to fire over top of the mountain, and it will block both enemy fire and friendly weapon fire. And you will first see them this week in the VXP weekend, which starts tomorrow. And here's just a couple pictures of what some of these mountain tiles are going to look like. And somebody was saying, oh, are we moving the game to 3D now? I'm like, no, this land tiles will just kind of be like your OP. They'll still be 2D, but you'll be able to see where they have height and whatnot to them.
I honestly thought the scale would be a lot bigger. I guess I just didn't realize how big my turrets were.
Right.
I mean, it's like the artwork's great. Don't get me wrong. It's just when I seen the video, I was like, it just looks like rock piles.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like
we're also going to see. So we're also going to see the introduction of heavy turrets. They're a new type of turret, and they'll have a fixed firing arc as opposed to the normal 360. And you'll be able to see the firing visibly where the firing arc can shoot, as if you mouse over the turret, or if it's actively firing at you. Be warned, in big letters. So apparently this is a big thing. Some of these turrets will eventually rotate, likely starting in January. Those who time their rush towards targets correctly may be able to avoid being fired on entirely, while those who time their rushes poorly will receive the full brunt of the turret damage. Be double warned. Oh, here's a bigger one even. This double warn you. Some rotating turrets will continue to track you once you have moved into range the first time. Alternately, some will only fire when you happen to cross into the turret's stationary firing arc and will not chase you. Be strategic and avoid moving within their range whenever you can. These heavy turrets will first appear in the same targets this weekend for the EXP. And then just here's some picture examples. You know, this you can see your little mountain tiles here. And you can see compare them to the size of the turrets, and that gives you a look at what the arc looks like. Here's some of the ones that have like the narrower firing arc. That just gives you an idea, a little bit of what the targets are going to look like, what the arcs are that you're looking to try to stay out of. And of course, that leads us into the VXP weekend, which will begin tomorrow at 9 a.m. and will last till Monday at 9 a.m. Let's see, we're now looking at unidentified Raider siege targets that are levels 58 and 88. 88 are the big ones, and they will spawn for first 36 hours. I know there was a big thing when it first came out. They were only said it was only going to spawn for 24 hours. There was a big uproar. I brought stuff up. I got yelled at for the way I brought stuff up. But it ended up being, guess what? They're going to be there for the 36 hours that they normally are.
Which is good because people have so many different schedules all across. I mean, this is a international game, so 24 hours, man, I'm just like, if it was an American-based game, everybody working 9 to 5, yeah, I get it. But it's just not plausible to the community.
Yeah, yeah. And Cuttlefish, as far as whether there will be VXP for the buildings, who freaking knows, dude? Probably not, but they've had it in the past before where you did get VXP for the buildings. So I don't know if you will, or if it's just basically you're only going to get VXP for being killed. I'm not sure how they're going to run it. They haven't clarified that at all at this point, so we probably won't know until we actually see the targets and be able to hit them. FM, we did not get a new dual armor, which I was really looking forward to, because the old dual armor we have is like over a day build. I was hoping we would get a new dual armor with a like 12-hour build, similar to what the CTCX was in the format that we just got done with, because it was only like 12 hours or whatever, like I said. And it made your overall ship build time quite a bit less. It saved you basically like 2 days just on armor itself. Instead, we got a whole bunch of limited armors. So this made me laugh when I saw this, because I was like, wait, who said that the FM isn't like a weekly raid, and now we're having to grind out for limited prizes in the FM all the time? But anyway, so you got the Zithonite armor for ballistic, the Zithonite armor for radioactive, and they threw finally the explosive one in there for your FM fleets, and all of those give you 30% damage reductions and only have a 1 second repair time. So,
well, that could have been useful in the raid, huh? That last one.
Yeah, yeah. It could have been useful for quite a while now, because we've had the missile one for God knows how long now, and everybody put it on their dragons. So it's like, why wasn't this out back then too? But whatever. But yeah, I'm really disappointed there's no new dual armor. I'm really, really disappointed by that. Or that they haven't at least gone back and reduced some of the siege stuff like they did for the skirmish stuff when we first got into this. It seems like we're definitely getting back to the point where build times are creeping up again. We got a boatload of TLCs this week. Ross, you want to take the first one?
Sure. The first one's going to be a co-op campaign. It's the Allied Boon campaign. It started Wednesday, or I'm sorry, it ends Wednesday, the December 19th at 1 p.m.
Yeah, just for clarification, I took the start time out of all of these TLCs because they've already started, and those start times got changed to goddamn many times. I was like, screw this, dude. I'm tired of changing this. So anyway, go ahead.
But so it says great. Take a friend and on this to get the allied to get the Buccaneer boon. So in prize pack 1, you're gonna pick up the Buccaneer boon shards ×2, 1-day Buccaneer build token, and also a 6,000 VXP ranking. Now after prize pack 2, you're gonna pick up 2 more of the shards, and so I guess you have what, five to get the haul, and then 1-day Buccaneer token ×2, and then 2 ranking tokens in prize pack 2. Prize pack 3 is where you're going to complete it and pick up that last shard, and along with 3 more build tokens and 2 more ranking tokens. So for those that you don't have this, it's a game changer as far as base parts. In my game, it was. It's a great haul, a great fleet. It's a requirement in my opinion for your game.
Now I wonder because I'm in an interesting conundrum on my alt account that I was talking about earlier. Now I went from having the only siege hulls I had on him was 2 Punishers, which were tier 4.5, to now I was able to actually get the Buccaneer, but obviously I haven't had a chance to build any yet. So I'm in a position where I can't do this campaign because I can only start it with a tier. I can only do the one section if I have a tier 6 or tier 7 siege hull, and obviously I don't have either one of those yet. So like I'm curious as to how many other people are in that position. I would think that like that restriction doesn't make any sense to me. I would think that like, hey, if I can find somebody who will help me, I should be able to start this damn thing with a freaking gunboat. But I mean, I just wonder how many other people are in that same position that I am right now.
Okay, could you do it this way? Could you take the Bat Ray fleet we all got, do the Hydra Hollow, and then within the FM get enough tokens to build a blank hole and then be able to go in? Would that get you actually in?
Well, but here's the conundrum, though. I could probably get enough tokens within the Hydra's Hollow to do it, but that's assuming that my shipyard isn't busy doing something else.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, for example, right now, like obviously first and foremost, my priority is to get a dragon out. So like I don't know. It was just, I mean, you can, if you don't have anything going on in your shipyard, you can work around it, but it shouldn't even be something you should have to work around in the first place. It should be like I don't understand level restrictions for this stuff at all, because especially in a co-op campaign, because the whole thing is you're trying to get this stuff into people's hands, and now you've taken that that good thing, but you've been like, oh, but we only want to get it in your hands if you have this prerequisite stuff, And that just, to me, that doesn't make sense in a game you're trying to get the people to grow and be able to participate at a top level quickly.
But if you don't have it and you have the required things, don't be afraid to holler and get on even world count. Get this help. Get somebody to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I'm sure there's tons of people out there who would be more than willing to help you, especially now that they know that they can't get their fleet sniped while they're assisting you.
Right.
Oh, sorry, I had to pause for a drink there. Travis, you want to do the Conqueror's Gamble campaign?
All right, this one, this will help you get caught up on any like PvP tech that you're missing. If you have the fleet to actually do it. So let's see, this one was the Makara Manticore recommendation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, yeah. So I'm not for sure I can do it. I mean, I may try it with just my regular Manticores, but overall, it's kind of a mid-level. I guess TLC for mid-level players who have that stuff. That way they can kind of get caught up on their tier 7 PvP hulls. And it's kind of cool because the way this one works, it's actually giving treasure chest or drops. So they're kind of random. And you can see on the screen here, you got quite a few different holes that you can get, you know, from the Onslaught to the Missile Storm Cruiser, Impact Cruiser, Ifrit, Witch Doctor, Revenant. So, you know, if you got the fleet and you're kind of behind on your PvP, this is kind of a good chance to get some holes under your account. So I would try and do it if you could.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I definitely agree. If you can do it, this is probably and you're interested in PvP and not totally caught up. This is probably a good thing. Maybe not so much for the hull since we're starting to move on to the tier 8 stuff, but some of the specials in there are actually pretty good, like the precision missile system, the ballistic calibrator, all that kind of stuff. So this is another one though I find kind of interesting. It's like, okay, this is supposed to be for mid-level players to get caught up. I wonder how many mid-level players actually have a full fleet of Manicores with a Makara.
Yeah,
Probably not a lot of them. So like the intent is good, but there again the limitations I think kind of the restrictions kind of really hinder what the purpose of the TLC is meant to be. But maybe that's just me. Then we got the Hydra Hollow campaign. This is what, like the 20th time we've had this thing, I think. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take this one. If you need the Hydra, the Blood Hydra, this is where you can get it. You know, you go through, you can do the TLC, you can get the Hydra, the Blood Hydra, a bunch of the all the CICs that were available for them both, the launcher, and you end up getting a fair amount of build tokens. Actually, you get what? Let's see, you get 10 for the regular one and 5 for the Blood Hydra, along with some VXP tokens there. So yeah, this will get definitely. And if you had picked up any of the Hydra tokens during the raid or whatever, you'll definitely be on your way to pumping out a Hydra fleet for sure doing this campaign.
And you can do the mastery round twice, so you can get double those.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, good call. I wasn't even thinking about that. And if everybody should be able to do this TLC because it's very easily done with the bat rays that we all got given. So if you can't do this TLC, it's because you didn't try. That's the only thing I can say to you.
You can auto it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Then we got Turrets of Terror. Travis, I'll let you take this one again, and then Ross can do base race.
Give me 1 sec. My phone's down. I'm trying to plug it up here.
Okay.
I can take Turrets of Terror then.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we'll just backtrack to him for base race.
It's going to also end the same time, December 19th, Wednesday at 1 p.m. And this one's for your tier 7 turrets. And this one requires your Inferno Dragons to do it. And prize pack 1, you're going to get the Halo Missile 2 times 2, thermobaric casings 4, and a 7-day Halo build token times 3. Now the thermobaric casings 4, in my opinion, is a very important needed special. So that's a great thing to have in prize pack 1. Prize pack 2, you're going to pick up the Javelin 2 times 2, heavy ballistic shells, and also the build tokens, same as for that. Now the heavy
ballistic shells is such a good special, man.
Yeah, I mean across that's a special that you can even swap and use in not even the correct weapon type, just because the projectile speed of 100% increase is so helpful in all turrets.
Yeah, absolutely. So like countermeasure turrets, especially, you know, that thing's hella useful on countermeasure turrets.
Right. So then in prize pack 3, you're going to pick up the Cold Snap Rocket 2 times 2. And also the fuel tank D1X, 1-day structure build token, and a 7-day Cold Snap turret build token times 3. Now these, in my opinion, for the Cold Snap Rocket Turret 2 is a great turret. That's one of the few turrets in the game now that stops the CICs from working as they do in like hulls of Witch Doctors and those type of hulls. The fuel tank is also another great special.
Now, looking ahead down the road, though, do you think the cold snap is going to be as useful as we start to see more Tier 8 stuff, and it looks like CICs are going away for Tier 8?
No, I do not. I believe it will be going away, but I think for the same player that's going to need the thermobaric casing for, this is just they'll be in that range that they'll need this cold snap 2 also. In my
Right. I was just kind of looking more like long game. It's like for short game, immediately foreseeable future, yes, still good. Long game, maybe not so much.
Right. But then price pack 4, you're gonna pick up the kinetic motion cannon, the phlogiston launcher 2x2, also 5 build tokens for that, and 2 one-day structure build tokens. Now, I watched this be attempted, and I have to say that I don't know if the people that are going to need these specials are going to be able to complete these. It looked like many hours damage from battle 1 in prize pack 1. So I don't know. I have not done it myself, but I watched it, and I did see that it was hours of damage in one battle in prize pack 1. So I'm not sure if those that need it are going to be able to complete it, but these are good things in the game.
Yeah, I can't speak to the damage this time. I know because I haven't started it yet. I know last time the damage on this campaign was excessively high, so it would kind of fit in with what you're seeing currently, that it's excessively high again. Yeah. Apparently, it sounds like they didn't adjust it at all.
Right.
And then, are you ready now, Travis?
Yeah, man.
All right, we're good to go. Base race, take it away.
All right, base race. This is where you can get caught up. You will need tier 6 garrison fleets. But if you're behind on anything like your outpost, your dock, shipyard, stuff like that, it'll instantly upgrade it once you get through the prize pack. Once you get to the mastery prize pack, that's where you get your 1-day structure build tokens and your 3-day defense platform structure build tokens, which, the higher level players, that's basically what they're going for right now. And they did limit them down some. We don't get as many, but they are there. So.
You want to know what's real funny? What's real funny is I now have 2 accounts that I can't do this TLC on. I can't do it on my main because I scrapped my icebreakers, and I can't do it on my alt because I've now officially just skipped over the icebreakers because the bat raise they gave me, I was able to get the dragons. So I now have 2 accounts that I can't do this campaign on. Thanks a lot, Kix Eye.
Yeah, but on a good thing, a lot of returning players in some time ago, or ones that are returning have ended up with an icebreaker fleet. So, and they're going to be needing this upgrade. So this is good for those returning players.
Well, I think returning players at this point now are getting full fleets of dragons.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in that position where they're not going to be able to do this either. It's just like, just get rid of these restrictions that are supposed to. It's like you want people, you put these out there to help people catch up and get caught up, but then you put like, oh, we want you to get caught up so bad, but only if you have this. That just, to me, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop because I could go on an hour-long rant just about this TLC. Bug fixes. The exclamation mark for full premium resource generators is in the wrong place. Boy, I'm glad they fixed that. That was really detracting from my game enjoyment. Tier 8 PvE ships couldn't attack NPC targets on the world map. They fixed that. There was a misalignment in private messaging scroll bar that was fixed. And, of course, as always, general bug fixes and performance improvements. Let's see. There was an issue with the dead portals. Ross, you brought that up on the page where your fleet couldn't go through dead portals. Apparently, that's now been fixed. The FM, when it started, they were having walls that were like pretty much couldn't be killed. But now they've gone back and they've fixed that. So apparently the walls are back to working correctly.
Yeah, I started the weekly off, and I have the same pattern. I hit the 120s, and I'm like, I make my and I didn't even look what the damage it was doing, and I made my circle around. I'm looking, I'm like, well, wait a second, the turrets are still there. I didn't take the walls down. I'm like, whoa, I got to circle again. So that was something.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least you look. Like, imagine people who go in and auto their FM,
Right.
And like 14 minutes goes by and they're like, why in the hell have I not killed this damn thing yet? And they go in, it's like, oh, I'm still on the very first turret cluster.
Yeah.
So apparently when they were going back and fixing the thing to where eradicators could fix salvages, now apparently conquerors can hit salvages as well. And they can also go into some of the TLCs that are out there. So be aware, this is not going to be something that is going to stay that way. As much as we would all like it to stay that way, it's not going to stay that way. However, they're not in any big rush to put a fix out for it either. So probably next week with the update, I'm imagining it'll be fixed and be back to normal. So don't get pissed off when it happens. Just enjoy it for the week or however long it's there. But I personally wish it would stay there because it's not like you really get any VXP by conquering salvages with your conquerors anyway.
Yeah. I don't get their whole argument of it being detrimental to the game's economy, like Xanthium's a real fucking resource or something, like, I don't know, our stockpiles of Z's going down, but
well, like, it's like literally Shane told me he took his breachers out and hit a cargo with them and they got 0 VXP.
Yeah, you're not gonna get, I mean, all you're getting is res, so yeah. It's like I guess we're not supposed to bully salvages, or what's the deal here? Because I can take a similar fleet out and get the exact same amount of resources with the same amount of damage, 0. So what's the problem?
What is nice though is if you still have Snowfall, you can take your 3 breachers into Snowfall and like go the whole way up to like in the 5th encounter and come out with like 500 million res. So enjoy that while you can do it.
Yeah. But if you catch enough 200s and 100s out, you can pull that in probably the same amount of time or less.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never understood why conquerors couldn't hit salvages. I don't know. I guess I could get yelled at by saying again that's probably a VXP ploy there for VXP weekend to cause warning, because that's the only place you can VXP them other than if you make tokens all the time. Which, let's be honest, a bunch of us forget to do that. I'm terrible for forgetting to make those tokens.
Yeah. But who actually ranks by salvaging now? God, that's suck.
I've been known to get a start on stuff that way. Like if I get it out and it's not time for VXP weekend yet, or there's been times where I really wish conquerors could rank on salvages, because a lot of times when we have bounty, you're looking at you'll get the new conquer hull, but you're looking at 3 weeks out before you can put any kind of rank on it. Unless you're constantly making tokens.
Well, in all honesty, even in my level with the HQ app, I would use it. I'd rank on salvages. With the HQ app, I can be doing it in my day and be hitting those things, And so.
But then again, now if the breachers aren't getting any VXP off of them anyway, then obviously it's a whole moot point,
Right.
But anyway. So yeah, just enjoy that tidbit while you can. The badge thing. Yeah, so congratulations. Michael Molding, I guess is how you pronounce his last name. He was the winner of the Build the Badge contest. This is what it's going to look like after Kix got their mitts on it. And apparently you win this by having entered all you had to do is enter a valid badge into the contest, and you will be getting this this badge. I personally, no offense to Michael Olding, but I still think Travis's is better. But but that's what it looked like after Kick got their hands on it. Was his original submission.
But I do not dislike this. I have to say that I'm a little biased. Also, I like Travis, but Travis is a friend of mine, and I don't know this other pirate, so and that plays part of that. But I'm happy with what came out of it. Compared to some of the badges that are out there.
Yeah, but let's be honest too. Travis probably had access to a whole lot of stuff to build his badges that most normal people didn't have access to.
Yeah, I had a couple $1,000s worth of programs to play with. But, I mean, I can get pretty mad.
It's hard to begrudge the guy sitting there with Photoshop at that point, right?
If he's running Photoshop 7.0 and I'm on Photoshop CC and got plugins and crap, I mean, I had a little bit of a advantage on the aesthetic part, but I liked his design, and I liked the the stipulations for it. I thought it was kind of funny, the base inspector, and I really give the props to the art team. They did a real good job recreating and making the badge a little more original. So I like it. So, the little
I wish I like their skull, but I actually kind of almost wish they kept with the original skull with the cross guns underneath of it, because that's kind of the Battle Pirates thing,
Yeah. But I like the little I don't know what the embellishments and the bullets. That's pretty cool. So.
Yeah, the row of bullets there is pretty nifty.
Yeah.
But cool. And then I guess just the last thing, everybody I know right now is like, oh, how do I build my Eradicator? How do I build my Eradicator? So I put a couple different build designs together. As you can see, what we were talking about, and the build times were back up to that 15-day or more mark again. I was kind of happy when we were down around that 12-day mark or whatever for the last raid cycle, but now we're creeping back up again. So on the first one here, just load it all out with Eradicators. Just for purposes of how it'll probably end up, I went ahead and put one of each of the new charged armors on, and of course had to put 2 of the old dual armors on. I went with oh crap, what's the name of this?
Strike system.
Strike system, yeah, strike system. Just because it gives you, it's other than Magnus, it's the highest speed engine in the game without reducing your range. Plus, it gives you projectile speed and stuff. I went with siege targeting and siege battery. Put the new special on. I put nuke accelerators for the range, and of course then your defense special. I wasn't real happy with the numbers on this though, because you only get 1,020 actual damage. I mean, you do have a nice building damage there though of plus 1,431%, so that's pretty nice. But then over on this one, you have a little less of the building damage, but your actual damage is up higher because I swapped out some stuff. I did add autoloader on this one for the faster reload. I put high velocity rounds for damage and projectile speed and whatnot. I switched over to Magnus Drive 3 because we're not sure how important speed is going to be. And there again, I stuck with nuclear accelerators and siege battery there. I think the next page, though, has probably the one build that I'm leaning towards, which is probably this one right here. Because I've used Cannon System 5. It gives you the extra range, plus it gives you the extra ballistic damage. You're also, at this point, able to put on Magnus Drive 3 for all that speed. But the great thing is you get the extra ballistic damage from this, but then you can also fit both siege battery and siege targeting on to get your building bonus damage up there again to over 1,400%. And then you also are able to get the autoloader 3 on for the reload. So I personally really am digging this build.
For sure.
This build over here was kind of, you know, you have the lower building damage buffs again, but you do have the extra crit thing on here and the extra speed. I don't know. Me though, like this one right here is the one I'm really looking at, the one I'm really liking. What do you guys think? Thoughts?
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm concerned. I just don't know what kind of the speed plays a factor yet. I love that build that you're saying that it's got 1400 building damage, a reload of 136, and 1.5k in damage. So it's an all-rounder. If it's fast enough,
Well, I mean, it does have Magnus 3 on it.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I totally. I'm thinking that'd be a great route. I just don't know, because if that 30% is the make or break it from the nuke accelerator.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. But those are the options I came up with. Travis, do you have anything different that you're looking at?
The only thing I've actually changed kind of from this, like one of the specials I got in the raid was the cannon system 5 just for this ship. But the projectile speed just got me worried a little bit. Like, I mean, I just need to see it. Just the one test I did was just on a 51 that I told you about earlier, and of course the firing rate's really slow. But man, that projectile is just like creeping. And it's kind of course it didn't have nothing, at all, but it's like freaking slow, just out of the box. So that's my only concern. So I may do like a split where I have one pretty much like you got here on the left, and then one instead of an auto loader, just add the shells on just to get the extra speed, because that way I think if it has an alternate firing pattern, that it might hopefully help stack faster, maybe.
So then, and that for the one that you're going to put the shells on, will you use nuke accelerators for your extender as opposed to cannon system? Because I know they don't stack.
Yeah. But I hope it don't affect my speed. I hadn't checked that. So.
It does.
Shit. Figured.
Right.
I might find a workaround. But all in all, I mean, damage, reload, and speed, I think, is what's going to keep you in frenzy, and whatever that other special ability is. Well, I guess the frenzy's the only one that's stacked, right? Yeah.
Right.
The other one's just a friendly base, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a little distracted at the moment. RP just sent me a message that he's actually home today. Why he didn't send me that message at the beginning of the freaking show, so we could have got him on here. I'm not sure. But that's the way he rolls, I guess. So yeah, I don't know. There's so many. There's a lot of unknowns at this point until we actually see the VXP target tomorrow.
Yeah, the size of it's gonna help determine, I guess, the route I'm gonna take, because like, how long is it gonna take me to get around a mountain tile or a few of them to get to the next turret? Like, am I gonna lose a stack, or is there a place where I can get like 4 stacks and then take off and try and get to the other one that's further away before I lose it?
But see, I don't think you're going to know that tomorrow, are you? Because you don't have a hole that's built.
Nah, but just
you can. You'll be able to judge a lot, though, even not having them built, just by how quick turrets fire, how big the target is, how fast you feel like you need to be to like get your stacks, not have them fall off, and all that kind of stuff. So you're not going to know exactly, but you'll be able to guesstimate a lot of stuff, I would imagine.
Okay.
And I'm sure there's some people who probably already have a full fleet of these already coined out, and we'll have to watch and see what they say to get feedback from them, on some of the things they've done.
Right.
I know I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be lucky if I have 3 and a flag done. More realistically, I'll probably have 2 and a flag done with these, almost 16-day build times.
Yeah, I mean, math says I'll have 3 ships. I don't know which ships I'll have, but I'll have 3 myself. So, I mean,
and I'm not even sure, for the flag to even be viable, really, they'd have to have another kind of VXP weekend or a bunch of VXP tokens available in the Christmas event for the flag. I don't know, because I don't want to be running two legendary regular eradicators and then a flag that has no rank. That'd be pretty shitty.
Yeah, at those build times, I'm definitely not going to be in as good a shape as I was going into the skirmish cycle. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. They did so much skirmish reduction times that made it very viable. Like Ross and I were talking about that in the pre-show. I went into the beginning of the skirmish feeling really good because not only did I have 4 razor tails, I was actually able to get a 5th razor tail done in time for that raid cycle to start. And now I'm going to be struggling like a madman to even have 3 and a flag, and I'm not even sure that'll happen.
Yeah.
And I
feel a lot more pressure on this than I have in a long, long time.
I think I was able to get out all 5 bats for ranking weekend just because of their bear build time. And now I think I'm just going to get 2 of these for this weekend, which I did kind of get a late start because I was playing with the bat rays and some tokens I had, but it just cost me a day. I wouldn't have had a 3rd anyway. So.
Yeah, I think my 3rd finishes tomorrow. Actually, I do believe. So, but then I actually am in a position where I still have I can't remember right off the top of my head if it's 5 or 8 of the generic siege tokens that I hung on to from last year. So I'll be able to. Hopefully, that'll help me be able to crank out a flag and at least then try to get that ready, assuming there's a way to rank it. Because if there's no way to rank it, I'll probably just continue on build 3 regular ones. Because, like I said, it would be pointless to have a non-ranked flag for my Skulled Other boats. I don't know. You guys got anything else you want to talk about? I think that's the end of all my slide stuff.
No, I mean, just that I think the community in general, we're not going to be the same shape we were going into the last cycle in general. So I'm just hoping that because these hulls are continuing to carry the buffs when you have more added in the fleet, I'm just hoping that my 3 are able to hit a target on the map. And I know in some of the past that the 3 ships just aren't they don't really cut it unless you have 5 in the fleet, and it's just not. I mean, it's not that you just can't hit down. They aren't very good until you have 5 in the fleet, or at least 4. So I'm a little concerned on the shape that I'm in. I'll be in by the next event. I use all the tokens from the weekly for PVE. So we'll see how I'm doing.
Yep. I think that summed up everybody. I'm echoing.
Did you turn on the reverb?
No, I didn't turn on the reverb. I'll blame Ross.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I figured you would.
Does anybody got any questions out there in chat today?
Anybody in YouTube land have anything they want to know? I know Kraken Doc's asking what the combat speed was on some of the builds. I don't know because I didn't get that in the screenshot. I was more looking at damage-wise than trying to give people an idea on that than I was the combat speed. But you can easily go into the game and plug in the different speed systems and see what it ends up being.
Yeah, the only two we had just had strike system, Magnus drive, and then nuclear accelerator are your only factors in your speed. And all three are all those.
Well, no, the welded barrel thing too is
Okay.
is also a speed factor.
Okay.
RB has a question. He wants to know how it is you're so handsome, Ross.
50 years of work.
Oh yeah, Ninja Penguin wants us to mention the poll that they have out.
Oh, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Well, is it a poll, or are you talking about a poll, or is it the survey that they have out for the raid? Was it a poll or a survey? I haven't actually seen it yet.
There was a survey, the one I got.
Yeah, I see it. I see a survey. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about, Ninja Penguin.
I hope. I do hope that everybody does look on the top of their screen and does fill that out, and just to according to however they feel. I mean, please complete it, and in my opinion, that gives you the right to gripe after that point. But to gripe in comms all the time and then not complete those is kind of pointless. So fill them out.
Dynamite. Well, that ding on my phone probably came through loud and clear. Dynamite. I have no idea if they're going to do a splash weapon later in the cycle. I would almost think for cannons, probably not, but I can't say for sure. But for the strike, like, we literally have no idea anything about the strike at this point. So I don't know whether that will be a splash-based weapon or not. Royal Shellback also wants to know on the Conqueror's Gambit if it's mana cores. Yes, it is mana cores. And if so, do you know if the KDs can be used on that? I have no idea. I don't have a KD, so honestly, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to what KDs can and can't do because I don't have one.
It can. So
it can be?
Yes.
Okay. So there you go. Apparently it can be. Anything else from chat, or are we calling it a day? Well, damn, we did such a good job that apparently whoever gave us a thumbs down from the beginning of the show took it away.
Well,
so there you go.
Good deal.
That always makes me laugh when we come on and I see a thumbs down before we even started. And I'm like, oh, who was it that I kicked off the page and did that?
I do want to say that I'm seeing a lot of new names in the chat, and it's nice to see. And thank you for coming out and viewing.
Yeah, and I can't wait till I get my broke ass back on the internet and not having to use the phone, so I can actually see the chat and interact with everybody, because I can't see it. So if y'all have asked me something in the past, please don't get mad. I honestly can't see it when I'm on my cell phone.
Yeah, we're working on trying to get this boy to get a computer. That's all I can say.
I got the computer. I just got to get the line to it.
Right. Just go out and acquire a big ass piece of the Cat 5 cable that'll run from like a mile and a half away, the closest neighbor. All right. Well, I guess we're going to call it here, guys. Thanks for coming out, and we definitely always appreciate you coming out and watching and participating in chat. We definitely like your questions. It proves that you're paying attention to what's going on, and it gives us more content to talk about. So, yeah, anytime you have questions, feel free to pop them out there in chat. But as always, give us a like, thumbs up, share us, send your friends to the page if they're not there already. And I'm going to go ahead and put the link for the Hangout here in the chat. Anybody who wants to come in and jump on after show, you're more than welcome to. We'll talk to you for a while. You'll have to put up with Ross and Travis talking about fishing at some point, I'm sure, so be prepared. Okay, we're out of here. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
See you.